And now, here's the Breakdown with Justin Hunte.
Shade 45, we got Justin Hunte here. What up, Justin?
Word up. What's going on, Jude?
Shit, chilling, man. Today it's been 25 years since Wu-Tang Clan dropped.
36 chambers.
It was something magical. I remember getting the cassette single, which was "Protect Your Neck" with Method Man on the B side,
Right.
And it looked budget as fuck. It was just white with the W on that bitch. And I remember my friends was clowning on me. They were like, "What the fuck is a Wu-Tang?" And I remember being in the basement. We was all in the basement. We put it on and we just looked at each other. It was like one of those moments where you're like, shit changed. You know what I mean? Like, damn, we never heard nothing like this. Like, these motherfuckers are spitting.
Did you have anticipation around this record, or did you just kind of hear "Protect Your Neck" and was like, "Oh, this sounds dope. Let me go check it out"?
I hadn't even heard "Protect Your Neck." The Source was talking about it, so I was just like, all right, let me go get it. I might have shoplifted the fucking shit for all I remember. It'd be like, but I just remember going to Harmony House at the Summit Place Mall, grabbing that bitch and taking it home. So like I didn't know what to expect. And once those two came out, like once that single came out, like I was ready for it. Like I was there that day, that Tuesday, to get that album.
Word up, man.
What about you?
I didn't have any anticipation for this project. Now big shout out to my cousin Shah, my older cousin Shah. He is the hip hop guru that taught me everything I know. He told me about Wu, I think probably right after the Method Man video dropped. Now I'm like 10 years old, something like that, 12 years old back then. And I remember when Method Man dropped and then Cream dropped. That's when I was like, okay, I have to sink into this project. That's really when it connected with me. And that's when I heard "Protect Your Neck," and that's when I heard "Tears." I know that they were out as singles, and I know all that stuff was happening, but it was just a little older than I was. And I wasn't really anticipating music, generally speaking, back then.
And the crazy thing too, like if you really look at it, it's like it's kind of unheard of that the breakout single for a group would be something like Cream. Like Cream is such a non-single nowadays. You know what I mean? Like it's not. I'm not saying it's not a good song. That song is the fucking shit. But it's not your typical fucking this is gonna blow you up single. Like this is gonna cross you over. This is gonna get you on R&B stations.
Right.
Cream get the money.
It's funny because I still think of Method Man as the breakout single off that project.
Method Man was like, I think the chicks like meth the most. That was like the party jam.
Like Method Man was like the Bodak Yellow of its day, right? Like you take that Cardi B Bodak Yellow where she's just spitting, and it's not like, you know, like not really a song when the way we think of songs. Like that's what Method Man was to me. It was just one dude wilding in the most illmatic ways with one of the greatest voices ever. And the irony of that joint to me is he was a member of a group of 9 cats, and that whole joint was his, and that one still broke.
Yeah, and that was the B-side. That was the B-side that popped. You know what I mean? Like that was. And I didn't realize this. I thought they were all like buddies and shit. You know, when you're young, you think they're all cool. Like, but they weren't all cool like that. Right. They were for like different crews, and they were able to come together. Jizza had his a solo thing. Before that, I think RZA had a solo deal before that. Right. And then they were able to come together. This is the other thing that Wu-Tang was able to do. They were able to They did it. How do I break this down? They almost took nerd culture and tied it into rap. They took comic book shit. They tied comic book shit into rap. Then Kung Fu, which is which everybody loved Kung Fu. They tied Kung Fu into rap music. They everybody had fucking noodles. Like they had their own. They had 3 different fucking characters. They took gangster shit, tied it into rap. They married all these different styles, and just was able to just was able to deliver this really unique experience that people take for granted now, because it's like, oh yeah, I go to Comic-Con. Like, motherfuckers wasn't going to Comic-Con, you know what I mean? They wasn't like the Cats wasn't. Ghost was claiming Tony Stark's, dog. Like, Ghost was claiming Iron Man. Like, people wasn't on that shit. They weren't on comic book shit like that. They weren't on kung fu shit like that. And like, these are like fucking dope dealers that are making that shit cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was like this whole. It was just a really interesting way to approach hip hop. And on the beat side, RZA's production was so was so unique at the time. Like there was a let me look at what it was. It was Cream the Mystery. Can It Be Is All So Simple?
Right.
He switched the beat in the middle of the shit to a weird, almost offbeat beat, which like Cash just wasn't doing that. Like that wasn't done at the time. Like right. you kept one beat and then you rocked that beat and that was the fucking song. All the beat changes in the middle and shit like that. Like they just weren't. He was really pushing boundaries in production.
I just loved how he would pull all those samples from the Kung Fu movies and put them in the track too. Like even down to just sounds of like swords clanking together.
Yes.
He would embed that into the production.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it was, again, when I'm listening to this stuff, when this album came out, I'm listening to a lot of these things I'm listening critically for the first time in my life. Right, like I had Criminal Minded before that. I had Paid in Full before that. I had Great Adventures of Slick Rick, but I wasn't listening to anything really critically in the same way, which makes a song like Cream so impactful for me at this point in my life. Like the idea simply that cash rules everything around me. Yeah. It sounds so basic and so regular now. But at that point in time, it was revolutionary because it was also an acronym, and I thought acronyms were always innovative. But then, most importantly, it is so true, right? Like there isn't anything that really can be done, or very few things that can stand out or cut through the world, through the zeitgeist, without investment, without money. And that impulse will have people going, one way or the other way or both ways of doing whatever they have to do.
What's an acronym?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the cool thing on the acronym, it's cream is money. You know what I mean? Like, it was really well played.
Right.
So I remember my mom. We was in the Plymouth Voyager. We was in the Plymouth Voyager, and I was like, yo, we gotta go to the tape store. So I got that and Tribe Called Quest. And I remember popping it in, and this was the first shit that I heard while we were driving. Yeah. While we were driving home, killed it back, and this was how they introduced themselves. Enter the Wu-Tang 36 Chambers.
Classic material.
25 years.
Still holds up.
Yeah.
Still makes me want to punch a hole in somebody else's wall. Not my own. I don't want to pay for my own wall. I don't do that. Yeah. You don't pee in your own elevator.
No.
You pee in other people's elevators.
Yeah, that's right. Thugging. Fuck thugging. 888-742-3345. 888-742-3345. We talking about Wu-Tang, RZA, GZA, Method Man, Raekwon, Ghostface Killer, Inspector Deck, You God, Master Killer, and ODB was on this one. And then I believe Capadonna joined later on.
I didn't have a history of like other groups. I'm not saying it's the first time it happened, but this is like after this album dropped, everybody was kind of a star in hip hop, like on the individual level. Like we looked for, I feel like maybe within the same year from my memory, I knew everybody was going to get their own solo release.
Yeah, Meth, we were talking about this off there. Meth he went solo, then ODB, then Ray,
then Purple Tape,
which is like basically Ray and Ghost. Was a shit. 888-742-3345. Chris in Boston. Go ahead, Chris.
36 Chambers is classic Mount Rushmore of albums, one of the, rare albums, top to bottom bangers. Wu-Tang Clan, I'm so glad you brought this up today. Wu-Tang Clan, I've always felt, is the greatest hip-hop group in the history of hip-hop. Using the basis of not only as a unit, but, the product that they've put into the industry, all of the members finding success.
Maybe not you guys.
I can't name.
I think N.W.A, bro. I think N.W.A. I think N.W.A is.
I as far as top 5, I would put N.W.A in there.
No, if you look at Dre the Chronic after that, and then he brings on Snoop Dogg,
and then
he's
one member.
Then he brings on Eminem, and then he brings on 50 Cent. Like that.
Easy gave us Bone Thugs and Harmony.
But that's
like,
one. But
like
that's
that
one
tree.
branch
I'm
of
saying.
that tree going off to unbelievable success. But was Dre able to turn Cube, Ren, Yella, all of them into viable stars?
Cube definitely.
Yeah.
Easy definitely.
Yeah, and Easy ain't even rap.
Right.
I mean?
So that's. And we're talking about the levels of relevance. Come on, man. Cube is arguably one of the greatest rappers of all time.
Yeah.
He makes kids movies.
Yeah. Are we there yet? Thanks to N.W.A. you can thank fuck the police for Are We There Yet? So there you go. Now, I'm not gonna. If someone says to me like Wu-Tang's the best rap crew ever, I'll be like, all right, I'm not gonna think he's a.
Right.
I'm not gonna think he's a dumbass. I'm just saying, like, as far as a tree goes, like, the N.W.A tree is a pretty. I mean, we even got beats by Dre. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's pretty.
I think everybody loves Wu too, but yeah, I'm not sure how much success Master Killer, You God, Capadonna. I'm not sure how much those guys really did on their own.
I remember Wu had me buying motherfuckers from Staten Island that wasn't even. I don't even think they was down with Wu, but they just said they was. Like, hey y'all, can I get some? I forgot the name of the motherfucker.
Was that Killer Bees? That wasn't.
No, that's the sound of the warrior's drum. King some. It's not King's Son, but it was some other shit. It was just like. Wu had motherfuckers just checking for anybody with some B's next to their name, some fucking killer shit next to their name. I was really on a Wu kick. Adam in St. Louis, go ahead.
Yo, what's up?
Go ahead, Adam, you're on.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and be the first one to say it. Back when that shit came out in St. Louis, that Wu-Tang shit was whack. Niggas wasn't fucking with that. Niggas was fucking with N.W.A, like you said, the Scarfaces, the Bushwicks, all that. When that shit came out, niggas that was listening to Wu-Tang was the type of niggas that you could take they weed and they couldn't do shit. Backpack niggas. Listening to funny ass shit that wasn't nobody hip to. We was on gangster shit, and that's when it separated from rap, and they was hip-hop. They wasn't rap.
Right.
Everybody else was doing rap. They was doing hip-hop, which was something new to us, which was like, it was lame. You know what I'm saying? It was lame to us. I ain't gonna bullshit you. If it wasn't for meth, wouldn't nobody even give a fuck about Wu-Tang down in the hood.
What was it about meth?
The smoking weed, and then, you know what I'm saying, he was talking about I'm rolling L's, like talking about, he was more clear, talking about shit we was talking about, toting the heat, smoking L's, talking the same shit that all the other rappers talking about. The other Wu-Tang members, they were so deep, they shit wasn't rhyming on the beat. It just wasn't the type of shit that, real gangsters was getting down with. It was them backpack type of nerdy niggas that was fucking with it.
It's kind of I knew real gangster cats that listened to Wu, but I also understand what he's saying because it did cross over to like skateboarders and shit like that.
Right.
Like Wu reached a whole new group of people. Wu introduced a whole new group of people to rap. That was like, hey, come on over here. You might like this stuff. The exact stuff that turned Adam off.
Yeah, I think that's what you were saying before with like people weren't talking about Comic-Con.
Yeah.
It's like Comic-Con audience now.
Yeah, they were.
Cats remember Saturday afternoon Kung Fu.
I know, and we didn't even talk about like the 5% shit that they dropping all throughout the fucking album too. It's like it hits on layers. But I'm gonna disagree with you. I think this album is fucking awesome. Awesome.